Hello and welcome to Playing Away, the show where we speak to representatives from our upcoming opponents about the game. This week's guests are Neil Wilson and Dave Dempsey from Burscough, who are coming on to talk to us about our upcoming game. Before then, just to let you know about our upcoming fixture list, our festive fixture calendar kicks off this Saturday at Burscough, kicks off at 3 o'clock. Tickets are available from www.buryfc.co.uk/tickets. Following that, we are back in action at Gig Lane on Boxing Day as we welcome Prestwich Hayes to Gig for what promises to be an absolutely massive game. Make sure you get down, bring your auntie, bring your nan, bring your uncle, bring your cousins, drag the family down and have a great day out at Gig Lane. Following that, we are on the road at the Marine Travel Arena as we take on AFC Liverpool. That's on the 30th of December at 3 o'clock. And then into the new year, we are back at Gig on the 2nd of January as we take on Barnoldswick Town. That is a 7:45 kickoff. Get down, get behind the lads, show your support. The club shop, it is finally open. There is a club shop at the ground. Details for that have been posted all over our social media. If you need anything, if you need any gifts, get down. It's doing an absolutely roaring trade. Support the club. Get your shirts, get your hats, get your scarves. Without further ado, though, we'll crack on with the show. David, Neil, welcome to the Shaking Up Show. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to see you.
Excellent. Oh, good, yeah. Fantastic. So first of all, can you introduce yourselves, tell us about your roles at Burscough, and let us know how you got involved?
Yeah, do you want me to start with that one, David, I think? So I'm Neil Wilson, the commercial director at the club. Not been involved for a great deal of time because, as you probably know, there's been a lot of changes at Burscough over the last 12 months, 18 months or so. A lot of restructuring, a lot of new faces, and an upward trajectory, certainly off the pitch and hopefully now on the pitch too. But yeah, that's my role, commercial director, and relatively new to the role.
Fantastic. And David, yourself?
Yeah, so Dave Dempsey, I'm the first team manager of the football club. Been in now for 5 games, probably 4 weeks in and around that time. So again, relatively new. Took over a team that was, struggling away, and the club had everything right behind the scenes. And I just felt like it was a good opportunity for me to come and get involved.
So very much like ourselves, part way through the season, managerial change.
Well, we've had 2, to be honest with you, Johnny, up to now this season.
Right.
So we've had a couple of changes, but which is not like us because we are a club that likes stability. But changes had to be made for various reasons, and David's come along, and things are certainly looking much better very, very quickly.
Excellent. Well, we hope you've got your man now, and you can kick on. We'll get on to the club. So, one for yourself, really, to start, Neil. Burscough, does the club have a nickname? And if so, what's the history of it, if you know?
Yeah, we are the Linnets. I have read the history of the Linnets. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head why we are the Linnets, but I do believe it was something to do with birds that were actually around and about the old ground at one time. But we are called the Linnets.
Fantastic. Okay, and I know the club has been through a couple of different iterations since they were first formed in the late 1800s, whatever it was. But the club as it is now, was it the 1940s they were formed? Are there any historical facts about the club? Any big wins that stick out? Any major achievements?
Yeah, naturally, the big one for us was the FA Trophy 20 years ago now. The best day in the club's history for sure. We still reminisce about it even now. Even the new ones that have come in, no one can forget Burscough FC winning the FA Trophy all those years ago at Villa Park. Big day for the club in the history.
Excellent.
Smallest club ever, I believe, to actually lift the FA Trophy.
Excellent. Villa Park as well, nice ground.
Yeah, indeed.
So, I mean, with that history, obviously, you get a lot of players coming through. I've done a little bit of research. There's a couple of links between Burscough and Bury in the past. But I mean, what notable players do you know of from the Burscough, the annals of history?
Wow, it's a It's a big question. There are some big names that have played for Burscough over the years, but you're picking on me now to name them straight off the top of my head. But Sean Teal was one of the big ones, obviously, that was rounding about in the trophy years as well, and that was one of the bigger names certainly that's played for the club.
So I've got Sean Teal, I've got John Coleman, played for Burscough in the early 80s, now at Accrington Stanley manager.
He did.
Bury FC fan favourite Tony Rigby spent a year in Burscough, and then the other notable one that's a big link between Bury and Burscough was Ryan Lowe, spent a year at Burscough, and I've got a photograph of him here on my screen. It looks like you're playing it. Might be Charlie from the kit. But a very skinny Ryan Lowe. He looks like he needs feeding up in this photo I've got in front of me. I'll put that up on the screen as well so everybody can see. But yeah, so little links between Burscough and Bury there, which I found quite interesting in my research. I'll come on to yourself now, David, because obviously you've only just taken over. Early on in the season, obviously not fared too well. Currently sitting 21st with 7 wins, but things are on the up. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 of those 7 have come within the last 4 games. We've lost narrowly against Chadderton at home, where me forward was in goal for the last 5-10 minutes of the game. They got a 97th minute winner, which was hard to take, and then we've gone away from home on Saturday against the Midland Remica. And narrowly got beat 4-3. We've had a lot of transition in the group since I've come in. It needed it. I think too many players are given too long to put right the wrongs and simply weren't up to it. So we've acted sharply and brought in players that I've worked with before in the Northern Prem, and lads that have what I call a non-league sort of profile of a footballer, and it has improved, quite quickly and drastically. To be honest, I think we're a lot more competitive than what the club has been over recent months. They started the season very well, and then they had a real lull in performances and results. And hopefully, we've turned the corner and we can continue to improve.
Fantastic. It's very, very similar to obviously what's been going on at our place. I had to scroll down your page on the county's website earlier, and I think your players list is as long, if not longer than ours for registrations this season.
That's what comes of having 3 managers in a short space of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I'm sure now you've got David in, you'll settle down and you'll kick on.
We don't want to churn through players now. Like I said, we've had our transition over the last 3 to 4 weeks. I feel like we've got a group of players now that are competitive. There'll probably be 1 or 2, maybe 3 additions to that group. But we certainly don't want to be going and signing another 10, 15 players, 20 players before the end of the season.
It's all about stability, isn't it?
You need stability, continuity in your playing staff to kick on and improve, and we've managed luckily to do it relatively quickly. Probably we're like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule from where I thought we'd have been, which is great. A lot of players have sort of jumped at the opportunity to come and play for the club with the history and the name, and obviously a lot of lads it helps have worked with me and my coaching staff and my management before. So we've managed to act quickly, which is very pleasing. Now it's about sort of shaping the group that we've got, and like I said, maybe adding 1 or 2 just to give us a little bit more strength and depth. But certainly continuity is like the needed, I think, from here on in till the end of the season.
Definitely. And I mean, we had Frank on from Skelmersdale the other week before we played them, and he made a statement to us, and I don't know if you'll agree with it, that it can be a very false bottom in this league, and the teams that are there or thereabouts now probably won't be there come the end of the season. So
I think that's quite fair, to be honest with you. I think we look at the league table in the same way. I think some of the teams that are down there right now are probably well capable of pushing themselves considerably further up the league. And obviously, since Dempsey's come in, that goes for us as well with a a huge improvement. Just like to sort of back up what Dempsey said, that I've been watching the games all season naturally, and what we're seeing over the last 3 or 4 weeks has been significantly better than anything we've seen for the rest of the season. So that's testament to Dave's work since he's come through the door.
Excellent. Now, as the show is called Playing Away, I better ask some questions about match day. Obviously, it's probably going to be very similar to when we came the other week, but what can our fans expect when they come to a Burscough game at the community ground on a Saturday afternoon?
Okay, well, certainly the match day experience is something that's massively improved over those last 12 months that I said, since things have been turning around a little bit. Obviously, we've got facilities now for food and drink at pitch side, which again we'll have on Saturday. But the big addition, of course, is the new function suite that we've got, the new lounge upstairs with a terrace, which I think you're going to have the benefit, I do hope, of the first use of that terrace at the weekend, because I believe it'll all be completed this week. So it's a beautiful lounge, it's a great facility to have, and alongside, as I say, what goes on pitch side as well, the match day experience at Burscough is something that's very different to where it was 12 months ago.
Well, let's just hope it's not raining, because I want to check that terrace out, definitely. Nearby the ground, obviously, there's the pub up near the top of the road, near the train station. Pre-match, Is that your advice? Bobbing there before they come to the ground?
Well, no, to be honest with you, pre-match on Saturday, I'd recommend to get down to the function suite, because I don't know how many of your guys are interested, but West Ham play Manchester United at 12:30. That's on the big screens in the lounge. So that's one thing I'd very much recommend for the guys to get down if they are planning on getting down there early. Instead of going to the local pub, we've got a beautiful lounge for them now. They can sit and watch the game in there.
There we go. So will be open for that for 12 o'clock, half 12?
We will be 12 o'clock onwards. Yeah, everyone will be welcome in there.
There you go, Shakers. Get yourself down to the ground. Fill the till, as we like to say. In fact, we can't be boosting Dave's budget.
It needs it.
Yeah, get down to the ground, Bury fans. You've heard that. Watch the game. Get a few pints in.
You guys have always been great when you've come down to the ground. We know we've always had a great rapport with the Bury fans, so it would be nice to see all the guys there and getting there early. Come and watch the game in the bar. That'd be great. We had a meeting about it today to make sure we're well staffed and well able to cope with that. So yeah, we'd be delighted if they all come down and watch the game.
Fantastic. I'm sure we can get a few down for you. So I'll go on to the game on Saturday. David, I'll start with yourself. So obviously, with you coming from the MPL background, have you managed against Dave before? Dave?
Yeah, numerous times, to be honest. I've had him, when he was at Islands a couple of times as a witness manager when I was there. I've also played against Macher when I was at Ashton Town in the North West Counties with Rylands when he was, moving up through the leagues. I've known Dave for years, to be honest. He lives about 500 yards from my house. So we're well sort of versed with each other. It's always a competitive game. I remember when I was at Widnes, we were 0-0 until the 96th, 97th minute, and they got a 1-0 winner, which was a bit of a kick in the teeth for us. We were excellent on the day. And I'm expecting more of the same from the lads, to be honest. It'll be... I think when you play against your Berries in this league and your Macclesfields in the league above, the environment that's created with more bodies within the ground and the atmosphere is completely different to what the lads experience week in, week out. And sometimes that can be a little bit of an issue for Bury and for Macclesfield as well, in terms of, as the old saying in football, and it's the other team's cup final. You just heard Neil there saying they're having meetings around getting more staff at the ground, and it's a massive, massive day for any football club, both commercially and on the pitch. I feel like my team talk on Saturday is very easy, and I don't want to sound, loose in what I'm saying there, but it's a case of just enjoy the occasion, give 100%, and you're playing against a team that's, layered with players from the Northern Premier League, your Charlie Doyles, your Gaz Peets, you just signed, for me, the best forward in the league in Dec Daniels, who's prolific this season. I've worked with Dec before. and I've worked with a lot of the Bury players as well, so I've got a personal relationship with a lot of the lads, and it'll be a great day. It'll be one that I'm looking forward to. There's no expectation for us as a football team to go out and win the game. We just need to be competitive, and hopefully that'll be enough to get something out of it.
No, well said, well said. Now you have made your signings and you've brought a lot of faces in. Anyone in particular that the Bury fans might find, he's cracking, he's a good player. Who's you want to watch?
Look, we've got a lot of talent in the group. There's a lot of players that I've brought into the club that have played higher. Your Lloyd Deans, Jake Kirkies, your James McCulloch. Those type of players that have played 300-400 Northern Premier League games. And you've got your young lads like Kean, Spencer McDermott, who was at Charlie last season. He's done very, very well for us. Steve Rigby, you've got Matty Coughlin, who's come back to the club. Just signed Harry Cannon-Norrin, who was at Prescott Cables all last year. And we've got some good individuals, but the thing that's pleased me most at the minute is the gelling as a group. So it would be unfair for me to single an individual out. I don't really think that we've got a standout performer as such at the minute. We're just a real solid unit that seems to be working for one another. So you'll probably have your own opinions, Johnny, of players that you like from ourselves, and hopefully, you can't pick from the 11 because they've all had a great game and we've come out 5-0 winners. Definitely.
Now, after you, I'll hold you to that one.
Please don't.
Now you say you're familiar with quite a lot of our squad. You've been in and around them. If you could pick one that you really wish wouldn't be playing on Saturday, I always ask this question: who would it be?
Look, your obvious one is Deck. He's just come to the group. I went watching news against Longridge on was it Wednesday night last week.
Some head of that.
Great finish, and he's more than capable of that every single game. That's why he scored the goals he has this season. He's a great lad. He's a great player. Got a lot of time for Deck. You've got Gaz Pete at fullback. I've worked with Gaz at Atherton Coles. I know him very well. Morsey at centre half. I've managed Tom before as well. So there's some real talent in that group. There really is, and it'll be you're a force that takes a lot to be stopped, to be honest. But yeah, I think for me, if I could pick one of your players out of that team, it'd be Deck. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So Neil. Yep. Dave's had his score prediction. Go on, you give us yours, and then I'll give you mine.
That's not my score prediction, by the way. Don't be throwing that out there.
What do you think the score's going to be?
I think the thing to say, I mean, David just said, without picking out individuals, it's been clear to see over the last 3 or 4 games since David's come through the door that how much more we are as a solid unit and how much more competitive we are. And if I'm being honest, I may have feared this game a few weeks ago. I think I don't want to give a score prediction, but at the same time, I know David will have the lads fired up, and I know we'll give you a game. And I think that's about as far as I would go in terms of making score predictions. You're obviously favourites for the game. League positions dictate that's a sensible thing to say. But I feel with the work David's done in such a short space of time and the solidity of that team, that unit that he's put together, I feel right now that we're capable of giving anybody a game, and I think that was proven against Chadderton just going back a couple of games ago. I felt like we should have won the game, and as David said, it was only because the goalkeeper had to go off at the end that we were unfortunate to lose the game. That was proof to me that we can compete probably with any team in this league now. I think it'll be a good game. Score predictions, we don't need to go there, but I'm sure we'll give you a good game.
Chadderton are a side. They really are. I think they took 6 points off us this season. But no, I think that we might just snatch it, but I think it'll be a late one and I think it'll be close. I don't think I think it'll be a very competitive game, as every game can be in this league. Every game.
Yeah. I think that's what you'll get from my team this year. I don't think it'll be, we've obviously just beat AFC Liverpool 5-0, which, was probably a false result with them having a man sent off and, was taking pretty much every chance we created. We're very, very good on the night. But there'll be, there won't be many games may happen where we get beat convincingly. But they'll be few and far between. So if Bury, do manage to beat us by more than 2-3 goals, they'll have had a great day, and we'll compete right to the death. Score prediction from me, I'll throw me out on it. I'll go a 2-1 win Burscough.
There we go. Right, I've got one last question. I'll let you two decide who fields it between yourself. And it's not about the game. So if you could say one thing to someone who hasn't been to support the local non-league side to convince them to come and give it a go, what are you saying to them?
That's for you, that one, David. You've been in it much longer than I have. Go on.
Yeah, so I'd just say to the local fans, come and experience a match day that was probably like no other this season at Burscough. We want fans through the gate for every single home game that we have. It's if you can get people through the door for this one, I can assure people that we'll get the bug for the club. It's a polar opposite from where it's been. It's had a lot of bad press over many years. Mismanagement and the match day experience sort of falling away. But that's the reason why I've come to the club and my coaching staff, and we've attracted the players that we have. It's because it's a club on the up. It's got all the infrastructure. The commercial side's brilliant. It really, really is. It's run fantastically well, and the match day experience, along with what's going to happen on the grass on Saturday. People can come, get a cheap game of football in. Have a beer with the mates. And carry on the night, and it'll be a really, really good day. Good atmosphere. Two good teams, and the game will be played in the right spirits between my side and Macca's. There'll be no question about that. So come and support your local team, I think, is the message, and just enjoy it.
Fantastic. Really well put.
Really?
That's everything, unless you've got anything you want to mention to pass on to the Bury fans before the game on Saturday, Neil.
No, only what we said, Johnny. Get them down there as early as we can. We're ready for you. It's the Man United West Ham games come along at a good time in terms of them getting down there. They don't need to go down to the local pub. Get them in the ground. Come and watch the game in comfort. And as I say, with that new terrace all being launched for the weekend, all being well, we haven't had the green light yet, but it's looking good. It'll be, as long as the weather holds out to some extent, it'll be a really nice day, and I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. And I think there is pay on the gate available, but I think we might be putting some tickets out as well. Is that right?
Yeah, we prefer you guys to sell the tickets that you can, but we will make pay on the gate available. But realistically, we're relying on you guys as best you can to sell your allocation.
Make sure we get that link spread all over the internet this week for you. But no, okay. Neil, David, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to meeting you both on Saturday. A big thanks to Neil and David for coming on and letting us know what to expect on Saturday and having a little chat about the game. Like Neil said, before the game, get down. They've got the West Ham United game on in the bar. You can get yourself a pint in the lovely new function room at Burscough. So get down there, show your support, put some money in another non-league team's till. Get down on Boxing Day. Tickets are available on the website. Get down to Gig Lane, go in the new club shop, get a hat, a scarf, get a shirt, and yeah, get behind the Shakers. I'm Johnny, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.